Good morning and welcome back to the studio. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are in the world. For today's video, I wanted to, as you can probably tell, autumn is my most favorite season of the year. I love and appreciate so much of each and every season and love to try to find beauty in each, but autumn is most definitely my most favorite. And so I thought it would be a fun video to share some of the ways in which I romanticize autumn, in the sense that I try to make the most out of the autumn season and do things specifically made or themed for the season, just adding little bits of extra whimsy and magic to my everyday. And I find that that just makes the season so much more special and more enjoyable. And I don't know, it's just something that I love to do. And when I say romanticize autumn, a lot of times when people say that, it's more so meaning like an escape from reality, or I don't know, a grander meaning. And when I talk about it, I more mean maybe adding things that you already have, or seeking out beauty in the mundane moments or the more normal and average moments. And in doing so, and in being in that mindset and being present in that mindset, it romanticizes the moment or experience, for me anyway. And so I thought that this would be a fun video to be able to share those things of what I do to add that little bit of magic and whimsy to my everyday, especially in the season of autumn. So I have quite a few things that I was going to share. I have my list here to help me keep on track and keep focused. But first and foremost, one of the things that I love to do is really lean into what I wear and really choosing things that I want to wear for the day. And when I do that and I elevate my outfit a little bit, it really changes my mindset about how I feel about myself, and therefore changes my mindset of the day, and I don't know, I just feel more in tune with the season and maybe feel a little bit whimsical as well, depending on the outfit. So things that I love to wear this season are so many thrifted sweaters. I have so many that I absolutely love and have kept over the years and have collected over the years. So I love creating outfits that are cozy but elevated with those sweaters. Or another thing I love to do is, of course, wear dresses. Dresses is one of those things to where it immediately changes my mood when I wear one and how I feel about myself, and therefore just changes my entire day. And so, especially for autumn, creating outfits with dresses is one of those ways in particular that I love to do. Another basic thing that I like to incorporate into my day is with whatever activity I'm choosing to do, whether that be reading or painting or even just doing some mundane tasks. Setting the mood in the room that you're in really can create that magic feeling and really feel present with the coziness of autumn. And so what I love to do is obviously light candles. If you don't have candles or choose not to use them in your space, I also love lighting or turning on fairy lights or string lights. You could also turn off your ceiling lights and just turn on all your lamps. That just creates a very warm and cozy atmosphere for the room that you're in, and can really create that autumnal and cozy experience with whatever you're doing. It kind of just elevates that mood a little bit. Another thing I like to add is sometimes, depending on the task, usually with reading or with painting, I will put on a instrumental playlist off of Spotify usually, and that can really create a cozy atmosphere and draw you into the moment, into whatever you are doing. So the next thing I want to talk about is activities. I kind of just touched on that with creating a cozy atmosphere, but some of the activities that I really love to do. One at the very beginning of the season, and you can do it with any season, but one that I love to particularly do for the autumn season is create a mood board. And I will go to Pinterest and browse through a lot of autumn themed images and look up things that maybe I might want to do during the season, or pictures of how I want the season to feel. And I'm a very image oriented person, and I'm just very visual, so creating a mood board with photos that I love and that create feeling for me is really enjoyable, one, and then it's just nice to have that beautiful mosaic of pictures to look at throughout the season. So I love to do that. And then I also like to create a bucket list of things that I'd like to do throughout the season, and just keep looking back at that throughout the coming weeks to be reminded of activities that I'd like to do or things I'd like to experience. For example, some of the things that I included on mine are go mushroom foraging, take lots of walks to see and appreciate all of the autumn colors and foliage. We have something called the Fruit Loop near us. It's this giant driving loop that you go on that goes around Mount Hood, and you get to visit all of these different farms, and there's apple picking and lots of homemade goods, and lots of the end harvest of summer and the autumn harvest, things that you can purchase and bring home. It's just a really lovely experience, and obviously with all the fall colors, it's just a beautiful little day trip, and so I'd love to do that again this year. Go camping, have a autumn weekend at the cabin, at my family's cabin. There's so many things that you could add to your own list, but I find that this kind of centers my focus for what I'd like the season to be, and so if I get busy or stuck in a rut, I can look back at this list and be reminded of the things that I want to do and the things that I haven't done yet. And some other activities that I love to do is reading. It really is such a perfect season for getting into good stories and other worlds, and so grabbing a good book that either is like centered in the autumn season, or the story kind of centers around autumnal type things, or spooky season kind of themes. Those are just really fun to dive into and kind of escape to those stories and to those worlds. I love to either read in the mornings or read in the evenings to wind down, and just, again, by setting the mood in the room, it creates a really nice calming atmosphere and experience. I also love to take my book outside and enjoy nature whilst also diving into these fun and beautiful stories too. Obviously, going on nature walks is a big one for me. Something that I love to do to make it even more magical and a little bit more romanticized is to listen to movie scores or instrumental soundtracks while you're walking. Listening to beautiful music while you walk through nature is just such a magical experience for me. It makes you feel almost as if you're in a movie, but it really just focuses your attention to the small but so beautiful things around you that you might not take notice in before, and it really is just such a magical experience, and I highly recommend going on a walk, both listening just to the nature sounds as well as trying it out with listening to a playlist. Another thing I love to do, especially on walks, is to collect things of nature and bring them into my home and into my studio space. As you would have seen in my last video, I have so many nature specimens that I have collected over the years and continue to do so. There's just so much beauty in nature, and I find that bringing it inside gives me so much inspiration, and depending on the season really hones in that mindful experience of whatever particular season that you're in. So for autumn, I love to find colorful leaves that I've found on the ground and press them so that I can save and preserve those leaves for throughout the entire year, and frame them or slip them into orders or send them off to friends and family in cards. Another thing I love to collect are acorns or pine cones, feathers. There's just so many things that you can find just lying on the ground that are absolutely beautiful and can be used for decoration and inspiration in whatever spaces you might have. Another thing I love to do is remember to refill my bird feeders. If you have a yard or an outdoor space, having a bird feeder is just really, really enjoyable. You get so many species and varieties of birds, and they'll become more and more comfortable with you if you spend a lot of time out there observing, and it's just so much fun to be able to see so many different kinds, and you begin to learn all sorts of things about them, how the male and female looks are different of each species, as well as different bird calls and bird songs. I've been having so much fun trying to learn all of the different bird songs and calls that I can, and be able to listen for them and identify them while out on walks later on. So if you have the opportunity to put out a bird feeder, I highly recommend it. You will get lots of squirrels probably also, so beware, but they are also very fun to watch and observe too. Another thing I love to do is paint seasonally. So in each season, and specifically autumn, I love to paint things that are of that season, whether that be nature studies or my more whimsical and children's book-esque illustrations, painting with an autumn color palette or with items from the season. Again, just elevates the experience and hones in that presence of mind of enjoying and finding all of the beautiful aspects of autumn. Another thing I love to do is watch cozy movies and shows that are a little bit geared more towards autumn. A couple of my favorites include Harry Potter. Absolutely love those movies and always watch them. You've Got Mail has always been an autumn movie to me. Some people feel like it's a spring movie for them, but for me it's always felt autumnal, so I like to watch that movie during this season, as well as Kiki's Delivery Service by Studio Ghibli, another wonderful film. Spending an evening or even an afternoon enjoying a cozy movie really gets me into an autumnal mood, and it's something I absolutely love to do. Baking and cooking seasonally is also another way that I love to spend my time during this season. So baking some yummy autumnal treats like pumpkin scones, or really anything pumpkin is really fun and delicious to do, as well as making lots of soups for dinner with fresh bread. It's just so good, and another really fun activity to do during the fall season. Even just something as small as adding some more autumnal spices to your morning coffee, or having a autumnal flavored tea during your day is something that I love to do, and it brings a little bit more of that coziness, and another way in which I just love to lean into that season. So those are just some of the things that I love to do during the autumn season. They're just things that bring about so much extra magic and whimsy and coziness to the season, and helps me to be more present and mindful of the season that I'm currently in and how to enjoy it to the fullest. I hope some of these things inspired you and gave you some ideas to do during this autumn season, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. There are so many new viewers here, and I just want to say welcome. I am so happy to have you here, and I'm incredibly thankful for your support here by watching my videos and for commenting. All your comments mean so much to me. I'm getting more and more as my channel is growing, so I soon will not be able to reply to everyone, but I am trying to at least heart every comment so that you know that I have read it and seen it and have appreciated the words that you have taken the time to write me. I hope you all have a wonderful and magical week ahead, and I will see you all next week for another cozy video.